Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Today we are swatching a new quinacridone pigment and some colors that might replace it in the future, because unfortunately there are strong rumors that this pigment PO48 is also being discontinued. I'm not so sure as I was for PR206, which is in the website of Winsor & Newton, but the rumors are very strong, and when the rumors are so strong, usually there is some truth behind it. So we have several PO48 or burnt oranges hues that I would like to swatch with you today. Let's get started. Let's start with the Quinacridone burnt orange that I have in my lovely palette of 24 colors that I have already reviewed in a previous video. I'll put the link in the notes. And you know that Daniel Smith is hand poured. It's an explosion of color, this, and such a lovely color. I'm so sad if this is really being discontinued. This is my go-to orange PO48, although I usually use the Rembrandt version, which is the first one I ever tried. But this Daniel Smith is wonderful. It's very orangey. So beautiful. It's rusty. It's wonderful. Then I'm swatching Quinacridone Rust by M.Graham, still PO48. If you like this color, you'd better stock up, just in case it is really being discontinued. Usually the reason for discontinuing such a beautiful pigment is that quinacridones are usually, the main market is the automotive industry. And if there is not a demand for this pigment, then watercolor painting is such a niche that wouldn't be manufactured just for artist market. You see, it's completely different, the M.Graham. It's much more a sort of burnt sienna, whereas Daniel Smith is more orangey. I mean, it's very beautiful, the M.Graham, but I don't feel the need to have such a brownish rust. I really like to have a burnt orange, a true orange like the Daniel Smith. Now I will take from my studio palette my Rembrandt version. You see, it's time to refill it, and it's the first I ever tried. It's much more similar to the Daniel Smith. It's definitely an orange. Quinacridones are so performing, so light, fast, so transparent, so vibrant. This Quinacridone burnt orange is a joy, and although the Daniel Smith is maybe easier to re-wet and more saturated, I admit that this Rembrandt version just made me fall in love with this pigment, and trying to darken it. This is how dark you can get, and it's a lovely version, the Rembrandt one. Don't you like it? I really like this one. It's perfect for fall, for pumpkins, for oranges, for foliage. That's really lovely. Then I have, because you know, names are not always the same. Same pigments go under a variety of names in the world of art. There are no strict rules. So this is a PO48 from Core, but it's called Quinacridone Gold Deep. By the way, because PO48 enters in the formula of most quinacridone golds, this is going to affect quinacridone golds as well. Wow, maybe too much. Let's see. This is once again a delightful orange. Despite the name Quinacridone Gold Deep, it's definitely an orange. Now I put a lot of paint, but it looks very saturated. Once again, as I noticed last time in my last video, swatching PR206, Aquazol should have a superior performance in terms of dispersion of paper on paper, but I don't find it. I find that these quinacridone colors just don't move that well as in the other brands. But it's a wonderful color. Look at the deep orange that you get in Mastone. It's wonderful. Now, once again, Core goes its own way. They call this Quinacridone Burnt Orange, but actually it's PR206. I think we swatched this in my last video together with all the others, PR206. And it's called Quinacridone Burnt Orange. But I think it's going to be definitely red. Once again, I put too much pigment. But it's a maroon. It's definitely a maroon. It's beautiful color, but it's not an orange. So if you want to stock up Quinacridone Burnt Orange, be careful what you buy. PR206 is also being discontinued, that's for sure. So you might want to buy this version as well, because of its beautiful color, and it's made with PR206, which is going to be discontinued. Once again, it doesn't move that much, but it's so beautiful, coarse, so pigmented, but it's not an orange. It's a maroon. If you look it side by side with the other ones, this is a burnt orange, not this one. Then I'm swatching some oranges that might, if this is discontinued in the future, might take the place, and I just want to see if they can take the place. Here I have a color that I like very much, which is Aussie Red Gold by Daniel Smith. And it has some quinacridone colors in it. It has PY83, PR101, red iron oxide. Here it is. It's in between Quinacridone Gold and Quinacridone Burnt Orange. It's a very vibrant orange, but it's not really a burnt orange. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's worth trying, but it's not a good replacement for this one. Just trying. Then I have Chinese Orange by, I got paint on my fingers, but I like it, you know I like it. Chinese Orange by Sennelier. I have never tried this one. It's new. Ah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. This is Nickel Azzurro PY 150, PR209, which is Quinacridone Coral, and the pigment PBR23, a brown pigment that it's very rare, but Sennelier uses it a lot. Always in mixes, never on its own, but it's really used by Sennelier. And it's wonderful orange with a burnt undertone. Not really the same, but a product to bear in mind just in case you wanted to buy some burnt orange and couldn't find the Quinacridone PO48. That's a wonderful color. And then we have, as the last burnt orange, we have Baroque Golden Red by Old Holland. Now, according to this, I have a leaflet where it says is PBR 23, so the same used in Chinese orange, plus PR 177, but on the website it says it's PO65, which is one of those rare pigments used by Old Holland, and it's a beautiful rusty orange, not so different from the Chinese orange of Sennelier. It's more vibrant than PO48, but it's a nice burnt version of orange, but definitely more yellowish, these three, than PO48. We let these dry. Let's play with colors. I take my Daniel Smith burnt orange and I will mix it with some colors to see what we get. This is my burnt orange by Daniel Smith, and I will mix it with some cadmium yellow. Cobalt blue. Cobalt blue. We let them do what they do. Nice. Very nice gray. Emerald green. This is emerald green. Dioxazine violet. Madder red. Beautiful. Now we have played and we'll let them dry. Okay, now my colors are dry and dry. And we immediately see that there are different interpretations of Quinacridone burnt orange. Let's say that Rembrandt and Daniel Smith are very much on the same page. They are very much warm oranges. Whereas M.Graham with this Quinacridone rust, despite using the same pigment, has a more of a brown sienna color. It's much more brownish. Same with Core. They have this Quinacridone gold dip that is very brown in the mast tone, but still is PO48. So I would say that we have two couples, Daniel Smith and Rembrandt with one school of thought, and Core and M.Graham with the other school of thought. Then we have a Quinacridone Burnt Orange by Core that uses a different pigment, PO206, and it is definitely a red. I don't know why they call it Quinacridone Burnt Orange. It's very beautiful, but it's not an orange. And then I have tried to swatch some warm, rusty oranges that might in future try and replace PO48, but I would say that none of them is at all close to a Quinacridone Burnt Orange, except maybe the Chinese orange, Orange de Chine by Sennelier, which has a lovely hue. It's dark orange with some rusty accents, and that might in a way take the place of PO48. It's different, but let's say that the role can be the same. Whereas the Baroque Golden Red is so flat by Old Holland, nothing to do. Aussie Red Gold, it's beautiful, it's got glowing, but like an orangey yellow, or yellowish orange, I don't know how to say, so nothing to do. Beautiful pigment. I hope it's not true it disappears, because it's a wonderful pigment. I use it very, very much, not just in the fall, the whole year round. As usual, I would really like to know if you have a PO48 tube, how do you use it, if you use it in mixes or on its own, and what do you know about this rumor of being discontinued. I'm afraid it's true, but if you have different information, I would be very happy to know. Personally, I use Quinacridone Burnt Orange very much in still life and in landscapes, especially, of course, autumn or fall landscapes. Let's go to the mixes now. You know that Quinacridone colors are very clean, very pure single pigments colors. So here I've mixed the Daniel Smith version, which is an orange version with different colors, and the Quinacridone colors are perfect for mixes. Here we have a mix with cobalt blue. You see the beautiful gray that we get here where they mix well. It's really a lovely gray. And the cobalt has this granulation property, so it retains the lovely granulation. With emerald, you just mute down the green, and you get, here it's kind of weak. Maybe I should have added more color, but it's a nice olive green that you get. It's just playing with color. I do that as much as I can. With red mud, you get, as usual, nice flesh tones. Quinacridone colors are glowing, so they lend themselves perfectly for flesh tones. This is a nice pinky flesh tones. And then this is with purple, a bit dull maybe, but an interesting brownish shadow color, and beautiful with cadmium yellow for the sunsets, for instance. Look at this, it's beautiful. And beautiful gradient. Just play with colors and let me know what are your favorite mixes. That's all for now, and next time we will talk again about PO48, but we'll talk about Quinacridone Gold. I'm waiting for your comments so that we can have a nice discussion over Quinacridone Burnt Orange as usual. And see you soon. And this is Elisabetta, your watercolor friend from Italy with a passion for art supplies. Thank you a lot for having watched this with me, and ciao ciao, see you soon.